Donald Trump's ongoing effort to anger everyone on the planet with his proposed Muslim immigration plan has extended to the Pentagon, British Prime Minister David Cameron, and even J.K. Rowling. She wrote, "How horrible. Voldemort was nowhere near as bad." Yeah. Now, here to sort out Mr. Trump, it's the party panel tonight. We've got Jedediah Bila, Fox News contributor, Gavin McInnes, host of The Gavin McInnes Show, and the voice of reason, Matt Welch, editor-in-chief of Reason Magazine. Welcome on, party panel.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Great button, Gavin.
Thank you very much. Make America great.
I never know where you stand, but I'm curious to learn tonight. So let's just focus a little bit on the impracticality of this program. Let's pretend that it's going to work, that it's enforceable, and that it's going to happen. What are some of the problems implementing it?
Okay, so the border guard will say, "All right, Mr. Hakeem Olajuwon, are you a Muslim?" And he will say, "Yeah." And they'll say, "Sorry, go play basketball somewhere else." Now, Beardy McTerrorist, are you a Muslim? What's Beardy McTerrorist going to say?
Nein.
Exactly.
Yep.
In the original German, and he's going to come in.
Yep.
So it kind of doesn't make sense to have it as a question. Meanwhile, we have visa waiver agreements with 38 countries. That means people from 38 countries can come into this country without a visa.
Yeah.
About 20 million people a year do that. The countries with which we have those agreements would rip those up in that situation, because you're talking about significant Muslim populations in France and England and Germany and a bunch of other places.
Yeah.
And suddenly this visa waiver program is not worth anything. So that means Americans won't be able to go to those countries without applying for a visa. This is the world that we would live in.
Well, that kind of sucks. I'm going to go buy some good fromage en France. Gavin, Matt makes perfect sense. This whole plan actually makes us less safe.
That's the problem with you people. You're pontificators. Everything is academic. Ivory tower salons. We're drinking brandy.
Yeah, God forbid logic and
practical. No, you're all hypotheticals. You know, it's like you just said, there's a motion to round up all the minions in Times Square because they're all illegal aliens. And then you guys go, well, anyone can wear a minion costume. Anyone who's at Times Square knows all the minions are illegals. They don't speak any English. So we can pontificate here, but we know that when a jihadist goes abroad and comes back, and he was only in Syria for 2 weeks, we know that he was there being trained. The shoe bomber, all 4 of the London bombings, the guy who killed the war memorial dude in Canada. Almost every homegrown jihadist spent some time in Pakistan, spent some time in Syria. Now, his plan is pretty extreme,
it sounds like it's a geographic issue. That's not an issue of whether or not someone has claimed a certain religion. That's not a question of whether or not people are Muslim. That's a question of where people have gone, for how long, and what has happened to them.
Yeah,
and how
I understand. Trump is crass and rude and irrational, but that's what we need right now. We need hate. We need fear-mongering. We are so worried about Muslims' feelings after all these attacks that we want to keep it academic and keep it hypothetical and say, well, what if someone was a professional ball player or an academic? Can he not come here? Yeah. Look, we'll have to have some collateral damage, but right now, we don't want another London bombing.
That's not collateral damage.
The Constitution is not collateral damage.
The Constitution is for Americans.
Right. You were just talking about Americans' homegrown terrorists.
No, those are traitors. That's capital punishment.
You just said homegrown.
No,
that means
if you were a traitor, the penalty is death.
Right.
So you're no longer an American citizen. If you're going to train for jihad, you're going to learn how to kill us.
You're convicted of treason.
Traitor.
You want to rip up due process, totally, for American citizens, and that position...
Due process. We're so worried about the Constitution and due process in a war. Don't be mean to the Japanese in 1943. You might hurt their feelings.
No, you might violate the rights of American citizens who were not Japanese, which is what happened.
Look,
which Donald Trump
be happy
said,
they're not in internment camps, okay? You can keep your land, but you can't be gallivanting off to Syria every 2 weeks.
It's been very useful, going back to Voldemort, to see Trump come out, because it's like it brings out the Death Eaters in people. These things.
See, he's actually a Harry Potter reader. Very good. Jedediah, please.
The problem is that that's not what America stands for. You know, America is supposed to be a place that you know, cares about freedom of religion, that cares about welcoming people in, that is able to distinguish a potential terrorist and a potential threat from someone who's just practicing their religious beliefs. Are we now going to, every time we're faced with a minority of a religious group that's doing something outrageous, whatever it may be, are we supposed to be discriminating against an entire group of people? For him to say, ban all Muslims, I mean, it could be another religious group in the future doing something.
America is not about feelings, okay? I didn't immigrate here for feelings.
But no one's actually talking about
America's
feelings.
about kicking ass.
But it's about rights. People have the right to be of a certain religion.
German rights in 1943.
But not all Muslims.
Everyone wore lederhosen in 1943.
The problem is not all Muslims are the enemy, and you're catering to an argument that then hands President Obama and hands folks on the left the opportunity to say Republicans hate all Muslims, when that's not true. That's not what's happening. We hate radical Muslim extremists.
What percentage are radical?
People. Not all of them.
Of course not all of them. Let's try some math, though.
That's what he's saying.
60% think suicide bombing is sometimes or often justified.
That number,
600 million people.
That is an absolute garbage number. That number emanates from Frank Gaffney. Listening to Frank Gaffney's stats about Muslims in America is like listening to Bernie Sanders stats
in America,
about climate change.
If you do 18 to 25,
actually, no, and I know you don't want to believe this because you want to point to some Somalis in Minneapolis, but American Muslims are actually better assimilated than Muslims in any other part of the world.
Oh, yeah, they're better assimilated than Saudis or Pakistanis or Syrians or Somalians.
Or France or England or any other country. We assimilate immigrants here. Even knuckle-dragging, punk rock Canadians somehow manage to become part of the American firmament here, and that's one of the reasons.
American firmament? That's what I came for. I'm looking around. Where'd it go?
Yeah, but you want to sacrifice the American firmament. Right. You have no respect for the rule of law or the Constitution when it's convenient for you.
You have taken the rule of law and put it into this academic ivory tower where we talk about hypotheticals.
Wants to amend the Constitution. No, God forbid a leftist wants to amend the Constitution and take away your Second Amendment rights. Then all of a sudden, everyone on the right is a constitutional scholar. You can't have it both ways. You're either taking all of it consistently or go back to Canada.
They're already invading my First Amendment and my Second Amendment. I want both of the two First Amendments, please. Both of them are being censored by feelings.
Donald Trump doesn't have any kind of respect for the Second Amendment. He has no respect for the Fourth Amendment or the Fifth Amendment either. He loves eminent domain. He wants to put everybody on watch lists and deprive their Second Amendment rights. Come on.
Nobody's perfect.
Oh, Lord.